Okay, good evening all, and welcome to TFC Open Mic. It's Season 2, Episode 49. So this weekend, I thought what we'd talk about is obviously more of a short chat on the bounty sometime over the next hour. But we'll probably focus mostly on the state of the game and a look forward. A couple of things we didn't talk about actually on the Tuesday show greatly was the hope. I know Venom's in it tonight, and I know he's got one built. And it seems to be obviously keeping a few people away from his base, so I'm sure we'll be talking about that. And they look forward to what you're after in the obviously the tech raid is coming up, starts next Thursday. So we'll have a little chat about that as well and see what sort of things you're looking forward to or hoping to have in the new year, because obviously you'll win it now, and then it will be very quickly we'll be into Christmas and the close down, and then you'll be building things ready for Siege, which starts in the spring. Well, anyway, first of all, I'll just say good evening. I know George stepped away for a minute, so Daniel, evening buddy, how are you?
Hi everyone. I'm good. How are you?
Mate, good. Yeah, fine, mate, fine. Hi, Mike, how you doing?
Hey, folks, how are you?
Yeah, very good. You're a bit quiet on the mic there, mate. I don't know if you can turn it up. If not, I'll give it a go.
I don't know what's going on here.
Oh, that's a bit better. That's a bit better. Right. Hey, Ren.
Hey, how are you, Mark?
Yeah, I'm good, mate. Tripod, nice picture, mate.
Cheers, mate.
We're going to talk about that picture in a minute. Venom, how you doing, mate?
I am doing very good.
Good. So Venom's a bit snowed in at the moment. I know that because he's over in Ireland and he's got quite a bit of snow and it's heading my way. So we're going to get quite a bit overnight. So that'll be interesting. I don't think it's going to hang around, but we're definitely going to get some snow. So we're going to slide through these. So I've got the PDF up that I basically put up after our Tuesday show. So we'll jump through the ahead here to the winter state of the game. So I broke it into sections basically, and we were talking about the return of the 4-month raid cycle, and actually there were some really good sort of analogies up on the page just after that about the amount of holes we had to build this year for raid formats. Obviously, being that there's been 4 different formats for the year sort of stuff, and obviously the escalation in the FM as well, which I think personally, and Ren might really remind me of, I think there's been 3 escalations since January, unless I'm wrong, but I think the latest one obviously in the last month has been the 3rd one, but I think we also had the 89 sort of change as well early in the year. Is that about right, Ren?
I think you're right. Yeah, 2-3 times.
So with the fact that we've had, so with escalations as well, we've had obviously 8 holes to build this year, and then obviously 8 refits plus another 3 refits for our garrison fleets. So we're 8 and 8, 9, 10, 11, 8 new fleets and 11 refits for escalation as well. So that's been quite a busy year just to get the basics out on the chore side of the PvE of life.
And just to put this out there, Mark, it's people say, oh, we're going to have to build 1 extra fleet during the year. Yes, but the thing we don't know is how generous are they going to be with tokens, and that's right now, it's a big factor. Like, I know I got my icebreaker fleet built for free with tokens, all tokens and tokens only, and refitted again with tokens only. I know I got a lot of my Skyfire fleet done with tokens because I built the Phoenix the slow way, So it all depends on the tokens. That's the reality, good or bad, of the game. It can be very easy having an extra fleet per year, or it can be very hard. You don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I know that the plan. We'll slide through. I'm not going to do all this sort of state of the game stuff, but basically, I'm intrigued as to how they're going to do it. I mean, my gut feeling is the transformation between the 4 raid cycle to the 3 raid cycle. Let's be open and honest. We're not going to save any money, guys. So this is not going to be a cost saving to us. I don't see that at all. The company aren't going to go, oh, we're quite prepared to lose money. It'll just be done in a different way. I don't see them actually having a cost saving to the player. It's just done in a different format, and you'll get more time to probably make some adjustments. I'm hoping that's a situation anyway, i.e. you get more time to make the adjustments. And it's goddamn boring, as we've said on the Tuesday show, spending 3 months plus just doing garrison targets. Because obviously when that was in the raid cycle, there was all the TFCs, there was the FM to do, there was the garrison raid cycle as well, and then the follow-on when the targets changed for the FM as well. So freaking depressing. I found that after a few weeks. I don't know what you guys thinking. How have you found this year and that sort of stuff, and thoughts on moving forward for next year? I mean, you can see the slide there; it's pretty obvious. But what are your thoughts? Somebody will go first.
Well, I like the 4-month cycles coming back, but we don't. But it wasn't what I think is it was not the 3 months cycle that was hurting us the most. It was more like the build times of the hulls when they stated earlier this year that they were going to reduce the build times, and it really didn't. It didn't really reduce the build time. Maybe like on the first siege raid it did, but then after that it didn't.
The overall thing, once you kitted it out, it seemed to, and it's definitely stretched in the last 2 cycles, hasn't it? I think particularly skirmish was quite bad, as it tends to be with once you start building submarines, and obviously 2017 is charge armor, isn't it? And that's also been quite contentious.
Yes.
And I think that's been half the problem, where you've not had enough charge armor, so you've either put on really lightweight X or something else, and then you've had to go back and change it again. So that's not exactly escalation, but that's refit, isn't it?
Yes.
Through the lack of ability to gain these things because of the cost or your ability to get that far in because you haven't got that many ships. But it's a chicken egg scenario, I suppose. But yeah, quite difficult.
Oh, but then you've got to factor on the other hand the charged armor keeping repair times down. I mean, we haven't had another Tideseeker repair time situation this year.
No, absolutely, and that's a very valid point, actually. I must admit, I mean, for those that have done some refits, the Tideseekers, just to give them that bit of extra shelf life. I don't know if that's paid off, but a lot of people have been getting tokens. Obviously, it's still, and I know there's a reduction on cost to fix because you can research it quite nicely and get a nice reduction on your tides, but it doesn't work for the flagships. And if there's one ship that it needs to fix the repair modifier on the flagship for the Tideseekers. It's the crushing one in the game, isn't it? It's terrible, I think, to be honest. And that's the one that sort of like dissuades everybody that to even fix it. I mean, you put 5 minutes and stick it out on the water just so you can see submarines. So you don't really use the darn thing. Or if you do, you tuck it in a corner and then use the other ships. So, well, that's what I certainly do anyway. But yeah, so I don't know. Anybody else got any thoughts? George, you're back. Hey, you're right, buddy. So basically, obviously, the transition between the 3-month, 4-month cycle sort of stuff, going back to the 3-month cycle, but in the acknowledgement of the fact that actually, just to recap there, that with the fact that we've actually had 3 escalations in the garrison FM cycle this year, so we've actually had to really, and in all honesty, build 11 fleets, and we've had 11 refits roughly throughout the year, and that's just on the PvE side without doing anything else. I don't know how it's going to delineate across to next season.
Yeah, I'm kind of intrigued with the CIC theory, right? Because I don't know, that might save us refit time or build time. I have no idea, but
it's the big unknown, isn't it? Still,
we don't know enough. We don't have enough information, and then when is the escalation for the raid stuff going to come out, as opposed to when we have to start building for the FM change, and like all this stuff is just so in the air. I really wish they would give us a little bit more information.
Well, I'm concerned about that. I'm sure some other players are. I mean, when they say, look, part 3 down there for the 2018 runs offset from the regular raid cycle. Well, that's very easy to say, but we've also got the bounties to consider and that sort of stuff. We've also got escalation to consider. It takes most average players 2+ months to get up to speed with a couple of, if you are having to, maybe next year we're not going to go for the two ship format that you have to do it. Maybe it's one or the other and go back to the older format. I don't know. But based off what we've seen at the end of this year, it takes most players a good 2.5 months to get themselves to a level where they can consider themselves, in a position to do the textile raid. At the end of the cycle.
At least to run one good fleet through that. I mean, and the other thing that I keep seeing a lot of arguments over is the whole the token thing, right? Because like our page, guys, no offense, we close this stuff because it's been on every single week since the FM changed, but there's a lot of angst about the tokens in the FM,
the delivery of them,
right? And and it's they initially had changed it from just I think it was a 2 or 3 day to the format that they say now, and that was because in overall we were going to have less tokens. But the way that it's delivered, we still have less tokens. And the thing is that, the biggest argument I keep seeing is, we get the Conquest Yard. Most people were not using those tokens for PvP. They were using them for their PvE stuff to get the raid stuff done and be ready for FM and all that other stuff. So I don't know how that's going to play out going forward either. I mean, they've reduced times on a lot of the weapons and stuff. But overall, there's just too much information. I don't know in that instance, are we better off or not? Again, until we see more information. It's tough right now.
Well, we'll know next year this time, but it'll be a bit late by then, won't it, to be honest?
Yeah.
I was just saying, outflow of information this year has not been particularly in the second half of the year. Robin and I were talking about it during the week and that sort of stuff. We were knocking some notes together, just looking at how things were delivered at the start of the year and how they've tailed off as the years progressed. And I think we're in a vacuum at the moment on detail.
I hate to say it, but it's starting to feel like the bad old days. Like 2016 was really good in terms of communication, getting info out to both, the forums and the groups and the pages. And the last couple of months, the last quarter, maybe 4 to 6 months, it just seems like it's completely gone to a trickle.
The guessing game is not only look, we don't need. We all like to know things early and that sort of stuff, but we don't need to know certain things. But we do need to know something. If we have to prepare, you can't be prepared for something if you don't know what's coming. It's the unknown unknowns are always dangerous things in any part of society, and that's how I felt we've been probably since around about end of October.
It's always been a guessing game.
But only guessing to a certain. At least you know what's coming. The transition type of we've got a new FM and that sort of stuff. And it's going to be a new, but a new target that we've never get to see and that sort of stuff. But
there was a time in the game when we didn't know anything. There was no class cycle, no predictable need. But you didn't even know if a certain raid type was going to last 3 months or 7 months, and then what was going to come after that. Everything was was always a surprise. We were far.
Yeah, but we had far more adaptability. We had far more adaptability back then. Our fleets were more usable.
True.
Mm-hmm.
But also I think back. But do you not think back then? Okay, I mean, let's go back to sort of like the revenge raids and that sort of stuff. You had a more adaptability and that stuff, but you had very limited holes to play with. To be honest, you had 3 or 4 options at best, which you actually already had built.
Specials and not 200.
You already had those holes built, and you had to do some tweaks and that sort of stuff. I know build times were never very good. I mean, going back and looking at some of my really, really early videos, from the 6 years ago plus, build times were not brilliant then, to be honest. And they never have been. It's just that you tend to forget and remember the good things in life generally when you look back and reflect on things. But it's the complexity of the nature, and just look at the last raid set. You've only got to look at all the targets that are out on the map. I know they're going to try and clean up, with this new system of sending a ship off and letting it collect the res or some percentage of the res for you after you've done a battle. But that's an interesting concept, but it's not going to alleviate the targets for those that are heavy consumers, and it's not going to take them off the screen. So you're still going to have the right adaptations to be able to take part in these things and do them properly. So it's still going to cause people some angst, I think. But I don't know.
I think it's going to all come down to how their release, the way in which they release everything.
Yeah, don't give away your secrets. You don't have to, but give away timely information in a timely manner and make it accurate. That's the point. Make it accurate. No miscommunication, no misinformation. Correct times, correct dates. And just be precise in what you're delivering. Yes, it's a game. It's a game, but be precise and accurate.
You just mentioned it's never going to happen, man.
Well, I mean, could.
You just mentioned the accuracy thing, right? And we've been playing with that release of the FM thing where it says like March, June, and then October. It's like 1 month off somewhere.
It's a bit goofy, isn't it? Yeah.
And it's not been corrected, and that recently, and this has only been in the last about 4 to 6 months, it seems like those things are put in there purposefully because they don't want to release some sort of information that's going to upset us. And I'm like, it's been over a week now, right?
And it's still not corrected.
It's still not corrected. What's the deal? Is there some little weirdness that's going to go on between October and March? I mean, what's going on?
I can't answer the question, mate. I can't answer the question because I don't know, basically. So, it's interesting, isn't it? So, yeah, it's not. I'm not saying it's clear as mud, but it certainly isn't as clear as crystal. So it's I don't know.
And I don't know that we need like specific information either. It's just that the general information would be nice at least to know. Hey, upcoming in like, okay, what the thing's going to change in March. So we're clear from now to March, or are we getting something between now and March that we're going to have to spend build time on? Like just general information like that would be good. I don't need to know the name of the hull or the specs or any of that. Like I don't need that kind of specificity, but a little bit more information would be really, really nice.
Just some general direction.
Yeah, I mean, we're sort of getting it. I mean, this is.
Mark,
it's reasonable. Yes, mate.
Just wanted to point something out. I mean, doing a bit of a retrospective on 2017. I think they were at Kick's Eye, at least that's what I see from the outside. They were overwhelmed by the 3-month cycle. They were releasing poorly finished targets. They were releasing clumsy hulls, poorly designed hulls, like the Monolith. Or, they were. I mean, clearly they couldn't keep up. Okay, that's
touche. No good.
Agreed.
And so I think what I've seen in the last 2 cycles, the assault and the skirmish cycles, in my memory, they have been the most smooth release cycles they've had in a very long time.
Yeah. I mean, no, there's no doubt about that. No, I agree that particularly the skirmish cycle, well, in fact, the Phoenix ones and that sort of stuff, they've been very stable, even out in the water, which is unusual. They are
very well designed. They were well released. There were no crashes. I mean, of course, the occasional player experienced something, but I mean, nothing systemic. That's what I'm trying to say. The Garrison raid cycle was a disaster. The siege cycle had a lot of hiccups, including that botched release of the Cannoneer weapon and special coming a month later and forcing everyone to refit everything. So, I mean, I think 2017, they learned a lot of lessons, right? And so I'm hoping now, at least what I expect from the 4-month cycle is a better game experience as a player. Things coming well paired up, well finished up, pleasant to drive hulls, just like the good experiences I have had with the Skyfire, the Phoenix, the Fangtooth, I mean, they are cool to drive. They have no hiccups. They're no weird. They don't feel awkward. I had no clashes. They didn't have to do any nerfs, buffs, redesigns, or anything stupid. You know what I mean?
No, absolutely.
It's much smoother. Yeah.
So that's at the very least the gain I expect to see more in 2018 with a 4-month cycle. The other thing, and I hope I'm not going for too long, is go ahead.
I would like to see them do some tech work because the lag is shitey.
Yeah, that's a background issue. If they manage to calm things down, if they can clear things up, now clearly it might get better when they start adjusting things, but it'll take till March, I think, before we sort of get any sort of adaptation in, what's available, what's out there for us to go and attack is not the right word, but to interact with. I think it's going to take a little while, but whether that's a whole different ballgame. Whether they close off a complete world due to numbers and they get rid of the top bracket and that sort of stuff and squeeze everybody down into one less, and whether that gives them more bandwidth or something, or whether they something needs to be looked at. There are certain targets that are specific targets that are horrendous to go into, and then it's just not going away. The bleed of memory, I don't know what's causing it, but it's dire.
I reckon that this is the Scourge, or I can't remember. What are we getting?
The pop-up walls, But when you think about it, the pop-up walls they're very big, and I understand that once they're up, they're up. That should drop off. But the problem is, I think it's causing so much memory lag. Once it's up there, then unfortunately that's it. You're stuck. I mean, I go into a Scourge thing and basically try to trip as many walls as I can. But the problem is, if you aren't careful, you trip one of those cannons, and once you've tripped it, it's on a timer before it starts firing. So you're in a double negative. You can't leave the target because it's going to fire instantly the second you come back in. So
they had the same. I was putting it in the ticket around. Was it the tech? And we had the Rudolph in one of the thingies. Every time I hit the Rudolph, the whole thing went laggy. Totally lag, all the time. And I had to drop out and go in and reset and everything, clear everything, and go in again, and do the whole stuff again.
Mm-hmm.
Every time I met the Rudolph, the Proto, or what we called it, Rudolph, was laggy. And I think people had the same problem with some of the mortar ships way back, or they were just firing crazy. I can't remember. And every time they start firing, you get laggy. You know, I'm not sure. Sorry,
the 52 siege target becomes really laggy. I just did one.
Yeah, don't dare go in and watch your target. Actually, or don't drive and don't watch it. I just literally go into it, press go, and then jump out straight away.
That's bad programming.
Oh, absolutely. Well, I don't know what it is, mate, because it wasn't like that during the raid format.
No, it's different.
The target hasn't been reprogrammed. The target's just been ticked and turned back on again. So the program was already there. So
we don't have the Rudolph in the raid, do we?
We shouldn't. No, we shouldn't do.
No.
So that's what target. So no, because those are out on the water, aren't they? So that's different.
To me, it was the old 89 or the 89 target. That every time I see that in the TLC and I kill the Hellstar City, it would just lag the whole entire thing, and I would reboot and I would get out of the target, come back in. It seems like the animation of the blowing up the Hellstar City would cause a large memory leak.
Hey Dan.
Yeah.
Is Hellstar City the proper name for Rudolph?
Yeah, actually it is.
Isn't it?
Thank you. No. I didn't know that.
What? Not Hellstars.
Check you out. It's calling something proper.
I always called it Rudolph. I mean,
yeah, we do as well.
Yeah.
It's a shiny nose thing, isn't it? In fact, somebody made a screen thing, which was quite amusing, of a Santa's sleigh and then some phoenixes in the front of it. And I'm surprised they didn't put the Rudolph at the front. I was amused. It was quite funny, but just a happy Christmas, the screen saver sort of stuff, But it was a wallpaper like it. I thought they would have put the Rudolph at the front, but it was quite funny, I must admit.
Hey Mark, can I make another point?
Yeah, go, mate.
Tell me to shut up if I'm talking too much, but the other good thing I see and again, it depends on two variables. Variable number one, total build time to get a decent ship. Variable number two, the availability of both generic and specific tokens for the hull, the raid hulls, right?
Yeah.
But based on those two variables, it could actually become a much better experience for mid-level players who never have the top fleet ready on cycles number one, not even usually number two, right? Some still struggle cycle number three, but then think about it. If the tech store raids, if they also move them to only happen 3 times a year, every player will be better prepared for that raid. Should be, unless they tweak the variables so it's not. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Right? I mean, everybody's going to have an extra month to build. I mean, extra month to get FM tokens, extra month to do TLCs.
So long as they don't do something crazy with escalations and that sort of stuff, because that's just frustrating, I'm sorry, but I'm on the fence, but on the side of non-trust at the moment, and not the side of trust, and that's just through the experience of 2017.
And you're right. I'm just saying, pending those two variables, it could be better.
Well, it's funny. It's funny you should mention that, because I do want to mention that Rue said Laredo on Wednesday's show, I guess, in the chat, said that March, July, and October is actually accurate.
Now, is that for the FM updating, or is that?
That's for the FM updating.
So what's the string out towards it? So is that now? Bear in mind, they did sort of say that they were going to be, and it sort of hints it there. Look, T7 toolbox is what they said, and remember they said about cleverly putting together a toolbox out of those three variables, and then creating something. And if you do it properly, you might be able to get away with actually not having any damage, which is what all our goals are, aren't they, for the FM?
Right.
So maybe they're going to release the March, a slight escalation of the target that you'll need the thing for July, and then March and July's ships will be the ones that you'll need to put together, and then they're going to do something else in October, and you'll need all three, and then it will stabilize for a few months through the Christmas period, and then into the spring sort of stuff, and then it will start again the following year.
Yeah,
that I can sort of see, but I don't know if it's going to be that clever.
It still kind of makes me leery though, because one of those hulls is going to be the skill hull, and one's supposed to be the auto hull.
No, I'm more talking about. Sorry, I'm more talking about the garrison targets.
No, that's what I'm talking. That's what I'm talking about. In the release notes, they said that the Forsaken one was going to be the skill hull, the Draconian was going to be the auto hull, but then they didn't say anything about the third hull, which is, I'm assuming, is going to be a generalist tank, maybe, or I don't know.
Well, we have been. I mean, look at the classic now. I mean, we are.
Zealous, baby.
I've seen. Well, just look at the variations we've got at the moment. And I've seen for no damage. I've seen, Zealous running with icebreakers. I've seen Zealous running with garrison hulls. The monos. I've seen a single Zealous and then the mono flag running with some what's the garrison? Sorry,
monolith.
No, not the monolith. The
Emancipator.
Yes. Yeah, not the Emancipator. No.
I mean, that's the gun. Empyrean.
No, the
Empyreans.
Empyreans. Yes, I saw a fleet of that. Believe it or not. So it was the monolith flag. Ship.
I'm still doing with my Empyreans and Zealous. I don't know what you guys have against that.
I mean, I've got and that's what I'm doing at the moment on my ult is just 3 Imperiums and then 2 Zealouses. And that's working fine. So there are plenty of multiples out there. Conceptual, it's the same though, isn't it?
Yeah, but I don't know that they intended.
Boring.
Yeah, I don't know that they intended us to run 2 Zealous. That's the thing.
Well, I don't know, mate. Because on my own, I don't. I still just for the fact that I still want the fastest finish possible, and I will only go out and just use my standard everyday icebreakers and just blitz round because I do mean about 1 minute 45. And then
you don't run a Zealous with yours?
No.
Wow.
No, because the speed of mine is 1 minute 45 per target, and then just go and fix them and then go to bed.
Yeah, I do like Mark. I do 2 or 3 runs with the icebreakers, all 5, and then if I have time, I go now out with Imperium and Zealous.
My Skyfires are set to auto 85s, and while they're doing an 85 on auto, I'll go in and hit a 115, and I'll bring them both back in, store the res away because it's 500 on each, and then I'll go back out, find another 85, auto that with my Skyfires again, and I'll go and do another 115 with my icebreakers.
So you're gonna like expeditions, right?
I probably will. Yeah.
Probably like will. Sex. It's like sex. You just want to do it fast.
I don't remember, mate.
Ren, you mentioned expeditions. I wonder, are we going to get titanium during this frickin' raid? That would be nice.
We're going to need some.
Oh my God! 7 days without a source of
7 days without titanium. That's going to be killer, isn't it? So that'll be the. They need to do something just the same as they have done before. Obviously, on the Saturday spawns for when the big ships come out, you need to have some titanium in there.
Yeah, just throw some titanium in that thing.
Even if it's 10k a pop or something like that. Well, it needs to be, even if it's 5k a pop, so you had to do loads. But we definitely need it because there's so many things. They want us to get on with it.
Don't give them ideas to be cheap, Mark. Just demand 50 grand, and
Right.
Let them be cheap.
Yeah.
Don't set the bar low.
Well, I'm just thinking based off the 85, which is the top target, and you only get 25 for that. So.
Yeah.
If it's a dual share, then maybe.
Yeah, I want
I'm trying to be honest.
titanium off of each man of war. That's what I want.
Well, we all want lots of things, mate.
I want it added to the man of war.
I don't think Santa's bringing any of it.
What about base parts? 7 days without base parts.
I want 50k base parts out of each man of war.
Wait, that's not much.
I mean, guys, don't laugh. It's for real. We're all going to be busy doing raid. You
absolutely.
To go out and hit 5 different targets. I mean, put everything on the freaking Manowar.
Yeah. No, I hear you.
300k base.
Ever hopeful, mate. Ever hopeful. So that's it's interesting. I mean, nothing's going to change now. Hopefully, we shouldn't be any more escalations now between now and March. We knew this wasn't going to sort of like go away. They forced our hands almost to adapt our fleets and gave us out 1,000,001 tokens. Or you could buy a fleet. They're still selling the fleets this week, to make sure your FM is good at least until March. I don't like the costings myself, but some of it. The only thing I've liked this week, and that was for the last bounty, was the cost of that Fury fleet that they're pushing out for the low levels. I thought it was a fantastic deal. I see that as a justifiable investment for someone to go and have some fun, and I know loads were doing it, but that's a slight tangent. But for the cost of some of the things I've seen kicking out for monoliths, that's also I still think they're far too expensive. But that's just a personal thing.
What was the price of that?
It was 50, wasn't it $50 or something like that? Or
I have it up on the screen.
Have you got it, mate? Have you? Let's have a quick. Oh, you've got one there. Hang on, I'll just look onto yours, bud. Yeah, £50. Sorry, yeah.
Bloody hell.
Yeah, so that's $70, isn't it?
Mine was $50, $49.99
for all 5, mate. Just because the exchange rate's different, though, isn't it, for us?
It's because the British guys have to pay the divorce bill, so yours is more expensive.
Our exchange rate has gone. It's gone. Well, it is funny, and that's half the thing with the UK players. A lot of them have stopped coining as much, and it's nothing to do with the game, or it's partly to the game, but it's also to do with exchange rates. The exchange rates
the Canadian dollar lost a lot of value too, so everything now for me is more expensive.
Yeah. And I'm not getting any money for YouTube, so it's I'm definitely feeling the pinch.
I just wish Trump is going to fuck up some more, so the rate
going to muck up some
down.
more.
Yeah, no, he said the rate.
What are you saying? Trump's an amazing president.
Oh, he's bloody awesome.
Yeah.
Not.
Anyway, let's not do politics. Right. Okay. So, and as Ren reminded me, because I was thinking like, those are the names of the new holes, and he went, no, it's just XYZ. Okay. For me, that's X-Ray, Yankee, and Zulu, but that's phonetic alphabet for me. But obviously, clearly not for Kickside. They have their own random one. But so there's 3 holes. We've heard there's going to be a Forsaken one. We've heard there's going to be a Draconian one, and then we take it that it'll be a Generalist, but if not, it'll be something else. I don't know what it's going to be, sort of stuff. But it's a T7 toolbox, so I take it that's going to be one more slot as well, is it? Or are they just going to stop anyway? I mean, we've had sort of like tier 4, tier 5, tier 6, and we're getting more and more specialist slots. Are we going to have 7 slots on our holes next year?
Good grief, I don't know.
That'll make it complex. I thought we were going back to basics. Keep it simple. I think they should take a slot off and just make the things less difficult.
The CICs should help simplify a lot in the game.
Yes, that's true. Make the 7 slot the CIC piece. That'd be better, and let it just work out in there. Just don't make CIC complicated, because people just go, "What the chuff is going on?"
The main difference I see is like if they move all these auras and special abilities, everything that today they're doing through auras and special abilities, they move all that stuff to the CICs. The main difference then becomes, and I think we were chatting about that earlier, when you have auras in a hull. They don't apply to the stat block. Like when you look at the attack stats and the defense stats, the aura numbers don't apply. You have to scroll back up and down and do the math yourself. Oh yeah, I'm gonna have extra 100% splash. I'm gonna have plus 25 splash damage reduction from each ship. You have to do the math. When you do the CIC, I mean the numbers, as it's something you put on the ship like a weapon. The numbers will actually calculate into the stats, so you don't have to do the math. That's how I think the CIC will simplify game understanding, at least.
Yeah, well, it'll be interesting. It will be interesting. I'm hoping we get to preview some of this stuff, and I think we need a public preview as well. Well, probably 4 weeks out. Once they've got some reiteration, they've got plenty of time to prep this stuff. So. The fact that they're talking about it, I'm hoping they're probably in the preliminaries at the moment, and I'd like to see something in February publicly, so that even if it's just Kickside playing on the damn thing, so that they can do a really nicely presented show with good backgrounds and that sort of stuff, and not just in a closet, but just something nice and professional to go, here you go, this is what's coming. No salty pictures in the backgrounds and that sort of stuff on the whiteboards, and but you know what I mean. Just a nice professional piece to say, here you go, guys.
Professional.
This is what's coming out. Look, I'm trying to say it with a straight face, but you can't see that bit.
I'd like some transition times too for like the FM stuff. Not hey, surprise, we're changing everything in a week.
Yeah, I mean that'll be a difficult thing. I don't know if they're going to go to this. It's like these expeditions. This is going to be something that's just going to, I think, just fall upon the game, and it's just going to go out there. But so long as they don't reduce the targets that are on the map for those that really want to go heavy and need to, the Venoms of the world to go right. I need tons of huggy shipbuilding time, so I need to get tons of titanium sort of stuff. So I'm going to keep going out and raiding the damn stuff because I don't see this expeditions, according to what I've heard so far, is not going to give you everything you require. It's going to give you a steady trickle, but it's certainly not going to give you everything you want. So you are going to still have to, if you're going heavy in one particular area for one resource, still source some of those.
And I think that's another area where having both fleets per cycle will help, because then you can commit one to the expedition and have the other one free. If you need to quickly top up faster than the expedition is giving you stuff, right? Or if you have a TLC of that type, you still have the fleet. I mean, a second fleet you can use
to do your TLC, yeah.
To do whatever TLC or get even more of a certain resource than the expedition is giving, right?
Unless the TLC needs both fleets like this one.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, the last.
No, then you recall the other one, but I mean, it's going to give you more flexibility if you have to.
That's interesting, isn't it? I must admit, there's a couple of questions that it's the known knowns and the unknown unknowns. As I'm saying, I know you go into a battle for this expedition thing, and by how well you do it, it tells you how much you can collect or how long it takes
and
to go.
And how often you're going to.
And how often. But then when it gets to the end of the cycle, it comes back fixed and that sort of stuff. But if you cancel it early, I doubt it comes back fixed. It probably comes back partly busted or something. I don't know. Yeah. So I'm interested to see how that pans out.
If I can interject there, Mark.
Yeah, go
that to me is a big help for the low and mid-level. I'm not going to say the low players, but the mid-level guys, because the non-coiners sometimes they get to build the fleets, but then you can't go and get a bunch of base parts and a bunch of uranium and a bunch of titanium and do your FM, because now you're going to go to bed with 4 fleets damaged, right?
Yeah.
And you're not going to coin repairs, and you won't have time to keep them repaired.
Well,
with the expeditions, you can just send one fleet on an expedition, and for the whole week it's going to be bringing you a trickle of resources, and you don't have to worry about repairing that fleet.
Yeah. Do you think, just for the first time, hang on a minute, guys, I was just thinking, do you think for the first time, since this is something brand new that's come into game, that this now, instead of building this against your base level, this should be against the fleet capability? So if it's a level 115 fleet, you should then be hitting. I mean, we can't all hit the same expedition target because the low levels won't be able to hit them and the high levels will be walking them.
What I like to see, to be honest? I like to see, and it's going to sound strange because I was against it at first, but I would like to see what they've done this time in the raid. I'd like to see, okay, I want uranium. And they'd say, okay, here's the target for Apollos, here's the target for Skyfires, here's the target for Phoenix. And you can only go in that target with a fleet of those ships.
No.
You know what I mean?
No.
Well, because then, if you go in with Apollos, it makes a compatible battle that's not going to kill your Apollos because it's designed for Skyfires.
The map is going to be crazy, Ren.
No map, man. That's expedition. That should be out of your campaign tower.
Yeah, the expedition stuff, you don't actually physically get to see the battle.
Didn't hear that. I was drinking.
So you go on your campaign tower and you're like, okay, I want to do the expedition Apollo version, and because it's for lower levels, of course, the battle's going to be easier.
I want to
and then the expedition pays a little bit less.
Ren, I can follow you. I want to do the same thing. If I build a new a Conquer or Defender or whatever, I want to try it out before going to my base or whatever, or trying on another base. I want to try to go on the sea, on the map, or whatever.
Well, that'd be a good use for that.
Just to try it out, how to.
What was the FDF combat section we used to have for doing FDF fleet fights against each other? What was that called? Can't remember.
The arena.
The arena. Well, yeah. Why don't you just kill that off altogether and then just make that a place where you can actually go and have some spawned bases and go and just chuck your fleets into it, and there's 10 different bases in there. And just make that.
That would be cool.
A place to just go and test out PvP stuff.
How did we go from expedition to that? I lost it.
don't
blame
know.
tripod. But I was thinking about it the other day. That's
But
something that no one really musses around with, and just make that a PvP zone where there's 10 bases in there, and you know how hard they are, and you almost have an expectation management of how good this fleet I'm putting in there, how good it would do, and then you can keep messing around with it, and you don't have to build it. You can just go put it through with the code in the design phase, and then take it straight into there and play with it.
Oy, that would
Yeah,
be nice.
that would be cool. That would be amazing.
Bloody awesome.
But
That's TSM's New Year's wish. All right.
Hey,
okay,
I started the idea. Yeah. I get the credit, man.
Yeah, you can have as much credit as you like, mate.
We're gonna have you drink some more.
okay.
That's the area. That's the area of the game that I think that we can use that zone, unless it's really coded randomly and that sort of stuff. But it's you know, I don't know.
One of the bigger problems in the game right now is those people that they bring their warehouses down to zero. It takes almost a whole day to fill up the warehouses again. Like, is these new expedition fleets gonna bring in res?
Not the regular stuff, no.
Yeah,
Just titanium, uranium, and base parts.
It's the three items they bring in, don't they?
Yeah, it's funny. One of the things that I noticed too is in the TLC, the first two targets
Don't get nothing.
With you loaded you up until you got to the last round, the second to last round in the Masteries.
And that's all pain, isn't it? No pain, no gain.
Same target, first and second target, and you get no resources. I'm like, what the hell's going on?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it is
First
a bit weird,
couple
isn't it?
loaded you up.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's strange. Do you know what? I don't know. So go back to expeditions. Yeah, I'm not really sure how this is going to work out. I'm interested though in the delivery. I'm hoping we do get to see a slick delivery that's professionally put out there early to the public, like they did for Bounty, and let's just see it and trial it.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say, or even do a test server.
Do it.
And if
do it
they're
in
not
one
gonna-
world.
if they're not
Just
gonna
do
make
it in Alpha World or something.
Yeah, and if they're not going to make it, public, at least let the when it's a closed test server, every once in a while they used to let you release a video or something. I mean, if they don't want to do the video, if they don't want to do the presentation to the community, let us do it.
Yeah, I'm happy we used to stream them, I must admit, and yeah, I was happy to stream them. And in fact, I used to stream them with some of the guys from Kickstarter and ourselves, and some of the other shows in it as well. So it doesn't bother me at all. I don't mind hosting. It makes no difference.
Yeah, I think that was more Doom Rooster style. I don't think Rampage doesn't like to get the shows or the players on the shows too much involved with the messaging, right? I think he likes to do the more direct messaging himself, which we all know. I mean, he does a great job at it.
Anyway, so lowering weapon times.
What?
Damn it! Nothing.
Control myself over here.
I missed the joke, guys. What happened?
Well, you said the joke. That's why.
I was just moving on to the next section. Sorry.
Moving on.
There was nothing else to say. So
Dry humor. Let's go.
Just irony. Yeah. So it's looking good then that the Forsaken Tech is going to get that. I've always felt sorry for the little guy, and actually we've spoken this week a couple of times that there are some people that have actually just gone to completely basic just to see how bad it is. Got as far as the Punisher and then went, it's just not possible. There's not enough res to collect. The warehouses are too small, and the build
I like
is
to
just too
say I
long.
showered yesterday and I washed my little guy, so it's taken care of.
All right, mate. Okay.
I
Tangents
take
and
care of the little guy.
tangents and randomness. Oh dear, it's going to be one of those evenings, isn't it? Right. Okay.
Doing tangents and randomness. I want to know something about blood pudding, but anyway, let's go.
Yeah. So, yeah, you're not helping me, Tom. You know that, are you?
That's the other
Trying to
show.
keep on the straight and narrow here. So dramatically reduced build times. There's a new formula coming out, as they've said, but we don't know what that formula is going to be.
It's baby formula.
It could be. I'll tell you what tonight. I can tell you've been away all week. I can tell you've been in a hotel all week, stuffed up by yourself, mate, and now you got some friends to talk to.
You're not my friends. Are you crazy?
Oh dear. Anyway, so yeah, let's see what comes. Everything pre T6 and a few of the remaining T6 stuff as well will get reduced. So And that says starting. I like to say you're starting in 2008. It may not. You'll probably get an update on Tuesday, and they've reduced it already. So, God only knows. I don't know when it's going to happen. But
I thought they had already reduced a bunch, had they not?
Yeah, but it said the remaining few there. So reducing all presets, but it's the old Forsaken stuff that were all in the the stuff that you actually used to go and research yourself. But when you first start the game.
So useless. Awesome.
Didn't you see the on the Kickstarter all this?
I saw the time. I just don't know when.
2,700 seconds reduced time.
I just didn't see when it's going to be introduced each section, because it just says at some stage during the next year. So
I'm more mad about how they.
But they didn't.
2,700 seconds. BS.
Well, it's all done in seconds, isn't it? It's not done in hours.
We like it in hours.
No, it's all done in seconds, mate, because the game's a mathematical equation, isn't it? So.
Well, no, I think it's more to do with if they put in seconds, people are less likely to convert it and see just how little it's been.
No, because I don't have the brain for it, man.
Well, all you can tell you math brain. It's quite easy to do, mate.
I just wanted 1 day, 1 hour, 2 seconds, or 2 hours, or whatever.
I don't know.
Give it to me simple. I'm a simple man. I want simple stuff. I want a simple woman.
Well, fortunately for you, what?
How did you get there?
Do you want a unicorn as well?
Try. How did you get there, dude?
How did you get there?
That's the secret.
Oh my goodness.
Okay.
It is one of those nights, Mark. It really is. On that note, do we want?
This is the most random show I think I've done in a long time. But there we go.
Try us about the hope of
cats. This is.
You're welcome.
Yeah. So, bug fixes and tuning. They were all correct in the hot fixes. Did you see anything get fixed this week, by the way?
No. I have no idea.
No, they don't give me hot fixes. They don't announce. I mean, they do hot fixes many times a week, and they don't announce them. What they're saying is like, "Oh, we sneakily corrected a bunch of bugs, and you guys will never know about it."
Have you gone into a base planner?
What about it?
Have you seen it when you collect one of the number 5 bases you got or whatever?
Oh, it goes tiny.
Oh, it's so tiny, man! Yeah. I need a, what do you call it?
Magnifying glass.
Yep. That's the one. I can't see Jack.
Keeping it simple, mate. Keeping it simple.
I can't see Jack.
Do we want to talk about the hope?
Yeah. So I was just going to try and look for. I'm just going to close this down while you have a chat, and then I'm going to close this down quickly and what I've got here.
I like
that
one.
My screensaver. One.
It's like
that one.
I like that one. Yeah.
So that's my little screensaver. I've got a picture of a hope somewhere. I'm just trying to find it. So I'll do the right thing and I'll lock on. There you
go. Bloody awesome, because it's no snow.
Yeah, it's green, mate. It's green. I'm just gonna lock on.
It just rains all the time.
Yeah. Let me have a look and see if I can find some chat. Like, I did a picture of a hope.
That's Scandinavia, man. That's bloody awesome. I like that one.
It's a good screensaver. I don't know where I got it from. I just randomly picked it up from some.
That's cute.
Random places. Yeah, the picture's all right as well. Sorry. So.
Hey, Mark, where you got that picture? Did they have any for men?
I'm not sure, mate. To be honest.
Yeah, okay. Because I have some friends who are looking.
Comedy Central tonight.
And there's no drinking word on this show, is there?
No, there's no need to, mate. Because you.
That's
no, we just drink every other word.
Ren's got the secret drinking word going on over there, I think.
Right. Okay. What this beastie then? Yeah.
F word.
Okay, so those that took part in Bounty that managed to get through to the last stage that didn't have a Nexus, okay then, or 3, well done. First of all, is what I'll say. Is I'm pretty impressed. Bounty actually ran fairly smooth, I think, as an event. I think the iteration, as I said earlier on, of the introduction of the megas, like it or loathe it, went smoothly. I don't agree with the points payout and the fact of how many golden nexuses you can hold on to as a single alliance. But in the first iteration, at least it didn't crash the event. It may have slanted the event as to who can get bounty they don't freaking deserve, just by joining an alliance.
Hey!
But, that's a whole different issue.
I disagree.
This will have to be ironed out. I'm not talking to you. You don't count, right? But for the average Joe, okay, there were people that got bounty just by having and did nothing else apart from joining a Nexus, and they still got bounty points, which is incorrect. It's a bad way of delivering a system, as far as I'm concerned.
Well, there were people getting their bases hit by gunboats getting bounty points.
Oh well, but that was across the board. Every single player could have that.
Well, every player could have the Nexus. You just have to make.
No, every player could not have
no chance. No chance, mate.
No, just players
an
that make
inaccurate statement,
alliance
I'm
to
afraid.
get the Nexus, not any player.
That was a completely inaccurate statement, and it's only because you're in an alliance where you're level 50 with his little 145 could sit there on a Nexus with loads of monsters and lots of ships around it, and he managed to get himself enough points to go and get 2 King's Writ for free.
Isn't that awesome?
So there is a bit of an injustice across the whole player field, but I'm still not going to complain, because ultimately they will time out and they'll be worth nothing in a few months or maybe a few days, the way it's been going. But the point is, at least the iteration and bringing it all in has not been to destabilize, which I was really concerned of. I thought it would really muck something up, because Bounty 3 was a joke. Unfortunately, Bounty 4 was quite stable. We did get some interesting ways of retaining and gaining some bounty for defending your base. So whether that was just a chuck away to let you play so the mechanic worked and it'll change next time, I don't know. But they knew, by the way, before we even started bounty, that you could hit your base with a gunboat and get bounty. It was already known. So,
that base defense where you get 1,000 bounty was probably one of the best features that they added.
Well, I wouldn't class it as a feature. It was available this time. That's all I'll say.
Yeah, it was available this time, but it helped a great deal on your start off, and it helped
massively. And
your secure points, specifically if you're very close and there's nobody to hit. And to me, it was a great feature that they should really keep. It doesn't make a lot of sense the way they have it, but it works. And to be perfectly honest, if it works, they shouldn't change it.
Well, they're going to change it because the game just evolves consistently, doesn't it, all the time? So the only thing they'll do now is it works as a mechanic. It's no longer gunboats that will die in there will do no good. You know, to win, you've got to kill off a valuable fleet. I can imagine it won't just be a gunboat. It'll be something that has to be.
Hey, as long as they don't take the defense bonus away.
No, exactly.
They tweak whichever way they want.
Yeah, whichever way they want to tweak it is up to them. But as a concept, it didn't goof up and that sort of stuff. It worked. The 6 hourly bonuses worked and that sort of stuff in general most of the time. There was only a couple of hiccups with the release of the Nexus stuff, but that's something brand new, and they got resolved in the end, as far as I know, on the main. So as an iteration, it wasn't horrendous, but going on to this thing. So the hope for those that did manage to get one, that sort of stuff. The only thing I want to say is really, to be honest, it's an interesting hull. It can actually kick out some crazy stats. I wouldn't believe, and it's not all about. You don't need 3 million damage. That's what about, because as Ren will quite easily tell you when he does his videos, it's all about getting past the minimum defense bypass on these sort of things. So as long as you can crack it, there's no point wasting 1 million points of. Yes, you'll kill things quicker, but ultimately it's getting past their defense and doing more than the minimum damage requirements is everything.
Well, the big issue. I don't know if did you get a chance to check your messages? I sent you a picture of the.
I'll have a quick look, mate. Sorry.
Yeah, one of the issues that's going on right now is that the hope is outranging the bus.
Yeah, no, that is a mechanic that seems to be broken, because it should have a 98 point something or other, and it seems to be like 125 or something, doesn't it, at the moment?
It's broken that the visual range when you click on your ship in the base is 88.
Because it was underperforming even worse, wasn't it?
So the range is bugged both visually, where it's too short, and in actual battle where it's too long. So it looks like they tried to fix the range for the visual glitch, and then instead
that was the hot fix that you're talking about, wasn't it? But
yeah, I think they've broken it where they didn't fix the visual range, but they increased the actual range. So we've got a further actual range.
Well, I think.
Yeah, they got the intern to fix the range, so the guy fixed the wrong range.
Yeah,
Well,
Yeah,
I think
you
both of
probably
them were running at the start. That's because I was seeing reports the next day of it outranging the bus. I saw that report before I saw the base one, so it's got both a visual and a mechanical glitch.
Well, I was doing some testing out in the water with it with somebody and that sort of stuff, and literally, the second the event finished, I had mine done in about 4 seconds because I was very fortunate. My chests had lots of some conquer and defend holes, 1-day tokens. So I managed to push one out for nothing, blank. So I took it out in the water and quickly had a little play with it with somebody else who was killing it with various different things. And I did notice, but I didn't, unfortunately, have the right weapon on it. I just put a single cannon on it just to get it out in the water quick. So I didn't get a chance to test. I was just testing the resistance factor of the darn thing. But yeah, interesting. I mean, they're going to have to change it because obviously it's incorrect. I mean, we know what the blueprint states, and so it doesn't state that it gets to a range of 125. So, but enjoy it while it lasts.
Yeah, it's something crazy. People already have these things skulled too. That's amazing.
Well, that it would be some while if we get the things skulled because we're not getting that token adjustment. There's another thing. So when you go in there and that justice token that nobody wants to. Nobody wants that token in there. We want a defender token. We've got a conqueror token.
Just on that, can people please stop calling hacks for those that have had the New Hope with a skull on it? There was an event a little bit back where
you could get tons of tokens,
and you get tokens, and people
get called a hack. You guys are used to it. Stop.
It is what it is. It goes to the territory. You know, the day. It's a game.
Oh, just remember, right? You know, the real hackers are very smart folks with good knowledge. So in a way, it's a compliment.
We're all hacks.
Can't be, man. I got called a hack the other day. That's just not possible.
I got called a hack by a guy that said he's been banned 5 times for hacking. Ooh. And he couldn't get in the base.
Well, but that's the disturbed mindset, right? Because the guy probably goes, well, I was only that good when I was hacking. And so if this guy's this good, he must be hacking.
Anyway, I just thought I'd throw the picture up. Look, so there's an interesting thing with the Hope at the moment, with the ranging issues and that sort of stuff. It is to the defender's benefit at the moment. It wasn't when it first came out. It didn't appear to be when it first came out. It is a little interesting when you stack it with other ships, so be cautious because it can do some strange things. I don't know if it's working properly, but just be cautious what you stack it next to. Things that also obviously have the same capability, i.e., you know, it feeds other ships, doesn't it? Its health and that sort of stuff, and brings them back to life. It seems to be interacting quite strangely with other ships that do the same thing. So just be cautious with that.
Talking about Stranger Things, did you watch season 2?
Oh yeah, I sat through the whole. I love that thing. That was an awesome show.
What show?
Yeah,
I'm waiting for number 3 so bad.
Because Mark just mentioned Stranger Things, and I'm just asking if you guys watched the 2nd season.
Of what?
Stranger Things.
No idea what you're talking about.
Oh, dude, you got to watch it.
Yeah, you have to watch it. Really
is it an American thing? Is it?
It's a Netflix thing.
All right, I've got Netflix, haven't I?
There you go. So it's a Netflix thing, so you must have it. So watch
Netflix.
And it all happens in the 80s, so you're gonna see the way the kids are dressed and what they do, and I mean, it's gonna remind you of like being a kid.
That was
pretty
so
cool.
Long ago. So long ago.
Yeah, for you it was more like in the 50s. I know it's different, but.
Oh dear. Anyway, but look, the point is, you're a nightmare today, mate. Oh, back on track. This thing, just with a vanilla build there. Look, okay, and it's nothing special, but splash of 229, you know, and also explosive damage at 260%. You know, some crazy damage statistics there. Bear in mind the lockdown rocket has the same range as this new rocket as well, so you can have some fun with this thing, you know. And there are some really unusual specials. Well, not unusual specials. There's some very good explosive specials that you think a little bit outside the box. There's a nice collective of things that you can utilize on this thing. So for those that have got it, great.
So don't build it with thuds is what you're saying, right?
Say again?
I said don't. So you're saying don't build it with thuds, right?
It didn't seem to work very well when I put a thud on it. Put it that way. So.
Didn't I also hear that some of them are dying quite quickly?
Yes, yeah. I mean, I have created a video for my alliance, and I've showed it out of how when you put it with the wrong ships close by, it don't last 5 seconds. Literally.
It tries to, yeah.
Because it tries to get, it's like a self-canceling sort of mistake it makes.
Dude, either say it or don't say it.
Say it.
Yeah, so don't do it. So don't put it close to other ships that do the same and have the same effect. Is all I can say.
Okay, let's move on then.
Yeah. Cool. Right.
We can see your private messages with Brew, by the way.
Oh, it's nothing interesting. Don't worry about it. It was just that. That's why I got the picture. I sent that to Robin, that picture. So I just said this thing looks amusing, and she said, "Yeah, it is." So, right, I'll shut up. It's not that time already. It's on the hour. So, going across the panel, anybody got anything they want to talk about? Let's have a
banner. Our banner. We got.
Well, I'll bring that up in a second. I'm doing that while we're doing this piece. So, Daniel, anything from you, buddy?
No, nothing new.
Oh man, come on, got to something.
Well, I didn't get the hope or anything. I'm just hoping that comes out sooner or later, in a raid or something.
I think it will probably be out in next month's bounty again, won't it? As a lower level prize.
What?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't envisage too much PvP stuff coming out in the general raids now, because they seem to like put in the bus was only 10k this time.
Mm-hmm.
In the bounty and that sort of stuff. And the sloths were there at 5. The twin blades were in there at 5 as well. So bounty could be the place to go and get your PvP holes now, to encourage people to get into bounty. It could be. I don't know. It's not my decision, obviously, but it could be.
Mm-hmm.
It's certainly not something that I have any direction on, or I have thoughts on it, but we'll soon find out, because we'll find out what this tech store brings, because I don't know, to be honest.
Yeah.
So yeah. Robin's obviously put the screen link, in chat for those that want it. Anyway, so there's our page. Quickly, and as this tab here, second one in the blue sector at the top. Then, so click on that then, and go to competition, and there you go. Like I said on the Tuesday show. For those individuals that don't know, then it's something we're putting out for the season 3. The Facebook header, okay, then probably the page header as well for our Facebook page. For this web page as well, will be some sort of design designed by one of the members of the page. We're going to scan through. We've had quite a few, so it's good. But we'd like those more, please. So put in a design. Okay, the design sizes are up there as well. And like I said, I don't care if you just do it in a crayon, with your child, or maybe they do it for you because you can't draw and they can, and then you just take a photograph of it and then upload that, and then we'll transform that into something, or Andrew will, I won't, and we'll transform it into something else and just make sure it actually represents what it is you were trying to say, and then we'll put that into the competition as well. So that goes right through until 26th.
Yeah, we had a really nice graffiti art one done last year. Wasn't meant for a banner, but it was really cool.
Yeah, there was a good. Yeah, that's a good point actually.
That was really nice.
That can be worth pointing as well. So as you can see there, look, 11 p.m. PST, Tuesday 19th is the end date. We'll pick the top 3 and that sort of stuff, and then you guys, you get to pick the sort of like, what's there, what you like, sort of stuff. You pick the top 3 out of all the lists, and then we'll get some ideas. But there is some good prizes. Right, we're down to the 3rd prize as well. It's not just you'll get some of your own artwork. You're also going to get some coin, which is always a nice thing, isn't it?
How much? We have some good prizes. We're not
it's quite a bit of coin, by the way.
We're not.
That's what I'll say.
Yeah,
it's quite a bit of coin.
That's it.
So clearly on your entries, you have to say whom you are, your in-game name and that sort of stuff. And, you can submit more than one, I don't mind that, so long as they're completely different. Yeah. So have a go at it, and, don't be shy, because no one gets to see these, and you won't be embarrassed, and we can contact you if we need to. That's why we like your real name, because if we're not quite sure what you're interpreting, then we can contact you via a PM via the TFC webpage sort of stuff, or the Facebook page.
Can't that be dirty?
No. No.
They can be muddy.
They can be fiery.
Did you say muddy or naughty?
Muddy.
Muddy, not naughty. And I'm gonna tell. Look, just for Snoopy right now, I don't want to see pictures of like a burning boat in his yard or something. That's crazy. Like, I mean, just saying. By the way, Mark, if you can see my screen, that's Stranger Things. Go find it. It's fun. It's enjoyable.
Oh, that's it. We're Netflix now on the show as well. We're doing well.
I think Ren would like this picture too. I mean, it's kind of reminiscent of the New Hope. We'll tie it into A New Hope. I actually like this. First time I saw this poster, I was like, holy.
No, man. I mean, the whole thing is really, really, really well built. The series, I really liked it. It actually, when I started watching first season like months ago,
I'll tell you what we will do.
It managed to spook me, which many horror movies don't manage.
Guys, I'll take that off the page because I had to. We got the show banned last time we did something we were showing that wasn't.
Really?
Really?
Yeah, we got banned. Our show got banned, and I had to go and edit it for about 3 hours.
Oh, you're kidding me.
Nope.
All right.
Was it something, some submarine that was throwing lasers or something out or something?
And just to be clear, nobody here is being paid to do any endorsement. Okay, that's just because we watched and liked it.
Yeah,
but our show got instantly banned on YouTube from every area, so I had to go and do some mapping again on that. So.
So we shouldn't do like Star Blazers references either. I mean,
you couldn't even free offer anything at all. So there we go. There's my wallpaper background, by the way. Very nice. There we go. Quite like that one. So it's all luminous. There we go. So that's a sort of level, okay, tripod, something like that.
Sorry?
Not Christmassy, obviously, but that sort of level of detail would be very nice with a little, and then tell us where you want the Forsaken logo and where you want your
come here, mention my name. I was typing stuff. I'm busy.
Oh, you're busy. Okay. Good. Excellent. Right. So Daniel's got nothing he wants to talk about then. Jeff, you're in there, mate. Huh? Very quiet. Anything you want to bring up, mate?
Not much to say.
Like, stop saying how many tokens did you get this week in the FM? That's a good one. How many posts do we have on that?
Just 5 or 6 of those.
Yeah, you're the Grim Reaper, mate. When it comes to closing posts, it's great. I love it. You get all the flack. I love it. It makes me laugh. If anybody says anything, yeah, Jeff did that. He's terrible. He is.
I haven't seen people. They're saying, "I'm disappointed, Jeff. You haven't closed this yet."
Yeah, even before Jeff closed it, I saw that the other day. It made me smile. Yeah. Jeff's our senior moderator. He's like got the ban hammer and everything. He loves it. It's quite funny.
Is that what we gave him? I thought it was a rolling pin.
Well, it could be a rolling pin. I don't know. Punch and Judy, anyway. He is the finger of doom when it comes to killing off posts. It does make me like, nope, that's enough.
Middle finger of doom. There you go.
Yes, it's amusing. Mike, anything you want to bring up, buddy?
Well, I have a question about this Garrison thing. How is that going to fit in? Is that going to be like a permanent? It's not going to be in the raid cycle, right? It's going to be standalone on its own.
Yeah, it's going to be permanent until they change it again.
I understand. It's like
so like the whole that will come out probably for a TLC or something like that. Yeah. It won't come out during raid. It's just not. That's what they've stated. That you will not have a Garrison raid. So it has to come out via some special event, which I'm guessing will be a TLC of some type. And there will be 3 of those as those months it said on that slide. And then each one of those you'll get a different hull at each different event.
Yeah, but is it going to be like I'm going to use the word, like a raid type of situation? Is it going to?
I really don't know. I
like to leave you with a metaphor, right? Think you're driving your cars, okay? And every 3-4 months, somebody comes around and changes your tires for square tires. And then you're going to keep driving square tires, and by the time they're round again, the same person comes in and changes for square tires again every few months. That's how it's going to feel. How about that?
That's what I was afraid of, and
I'm kidding.
But that's right. What I'm suspecting is likely to happen. They're going to catch us off guard with something.
I like that analogy in the FM. It's very true that actually you feel like you're riding sort of like gunshot rogue, for a while, and all of a sudden then you get to a safe passage piece, and you go, actually, FM's right. I'm it's smooth sailing. It's all right then. All of a sudden they do something, and then you're back to rough seas again, and it's all difficult, and it's all, it gets already angst, and the rage quitters start and that sort of stuff, But it always settles down again, and it hasn't. The transition this time really was poorly done, but the actual difficultiness of the target after they adjusted it. Was probably as it should have been in the first place, which we sort of said. So,
So my problem is they're going back to the 4-month raid cycle, but now we're going to have this garrison thing as well. And I don't know if I don't know what I don't know. You've kind of almost said that several times during the show. Oh. And we don't know what we don't know.
Correct.
They're not.
Which is why I really like the Mike to put something out in, like I said, February. If the first iteration's in March, that gives us like 4 weeks to consider something. Which means if it's going to start in March, or is that the first event, and then we'll have March from the event, and then April, May sort of stuff. But the fact that if they're going to do it in between raids, well, that doesn't give us very long to build these darn things, because you are still going to be. Looking at maybe then we're going to get the 1 month, so we're only going to 3 raid cycles, so it would be 1, 2, 3 tech raid. 4th month may actually be then the garrison fleet. I don't know.
It all depends on how generous they're going to be with tokens, how hard the TLCs will be, how long the build times will be. I mean, it's all the things we don't know. So we don't control.
Yeah, if the 3-month cycle was 18 days, 19 days now, I could imagine the 4-month cycle. It's going to be like 30 months, 30 days.
Build times per hull?
Yeah.
But that's all I had. The only thing is
build times per hull.
Somebody else commonly says there's a little trust deficit there with
there is. They don't have, like I said, if I'm on the fence, I'm on the side at the moment because of where we are of the non-trust side. I'm falling on that side of the fence at the moment. I haven't fallen totally, but I have to climb back to the neutral point to before I even start looking at 2018.
Yeah, I mean the trust deficit is bad enough. Yeah, the trust deficit is bad enough where we're actually literally looking at that 3 months that they posted. And going, okay, why is it October and not November? And we're already looking at that almost a year ahead of time because of the lack of communication and the misdirection and just the trust deficit. And I mean, hell, Mock's gonna stop breaking out the tinfoil hat for his monkey.
Oh yeah, he's not been out for a while, but yeah, you're right. Ron, you've been quiet, mate. Anything you want to say?
No, all good. Just kind of listening in right now.
Okay,
hasn't been much going on, so I don't have much to complain about.
Hey, apart from having some fun in the sector, aren't we? So it's,
oh yeah,
good fun. That's nice. It's good. I like a bit of combat. It's good fun.
Yeah.
House, what about you, buddy?
Not too much. Just chilling.
Are you going to do a design, mate? I'm sure you're the sort of person that would. I'm sure.
Yeah. I'll do it after finals. I got finals the next few days, so.
Okay, mate. Well, good luck. Hope it goes well, buddy.
Hopefully.
That's good. Yeah. Tripod, anything you want to bring up, buddy, that you haven't already?
Sorry?
Anything you want to bring up that you haven't already?
No.
Oh, don't say it that way.
No, I'm okay.
You're okay. You even turned your mic up or you put the bass up or something. It's funny.
What did I do?
It's very
I didn't
deep.
do it.
Your microphone's very deep this week. It's quite good.
It's because I've been drinking all week.
Oh, right. It's just the fact that your nose has turned red. Rudolph.
Yep. I'm preparing for the bloody Christmas.
All right. Ho, ho, ho. Venom, what about you, mate?
I'm afraid for what the new Conqueror hulls that are tier 7 are going to be like. We have the 6.5 tier, which is the King's Writ, with deflections, which are rather high. And then they've brought out the Hope, which, to be honest, does quite a bit of damage. So
how come your Irish people have so much money to build all those fleets?
Because there's a pot of gold at the end of every rainbow, mate. That's why.
Yeah, of course.
They have so much money. It's probably loaded, man. I'm gonna move there.
To be sure.
After Brexit.
Well, it depends on which part of Ireland you're from, obviously, because different issues, different areas.
North and south.
Depending how it goes, the north might be some bit profitable to be in.
Yeah.
There's always a profit to be made in Ireland.
It's called under the table, mate.
As I say, don't make a drama out of a crisis, but definitely make a profit.
Yeah, sure.
It already works. Right, let me just nip back through. Ren, anything you want to close with, mate? If he's still there.
Already said enough, Mark. Thank you.
Okay, cool, excellent. George?
I actually just got two things. One is I wish I had seen some TLCs this week for older stuff like core, chore stuff. Mm-hmm. And I'm kind of curious about what we're going to see in the raid because we had that poll a couple weeks ago about which way they wanted to make that quote unquote extra hull that they had. So we know we're going to see a defender in the raid. We're going to see a siege, the new siege fleet in the raid. I'm kind of curious about what we're going to see and how many bloody points we're going to need if we have 2 new charged armors.
Come on, George. We've been through this over and over all the time. We figure it out all the time. You do. And then I'll pick up after you.
No, it's just the amount of points. It's not doing the target that's the problem. It's the amount of points.
Yeah, I'm hoping to auto again. I mean, I loved doing that last time. 3 targets for 1 coin. I'll do that shit all day long.
1 volley. That was funny.
But on the other hand, I really am kind of curious, like how much is going to be available this raid for prizes. Like that's the one worry I got.
10 Brazilians, Jeff Hefe says.
10 Brazilians.
I think he's thinking something completely different.
Depends on the Brazilians, I guess.
Only Hefe can say that. Oh dear, that's funny. I'm glad I caught that.
Knowing him, the worthwhile Brazilians too. So
Oh yeah.
Unless Ren, we can't count Ren in that one though, because not that team. Sorry.
No.
Is that a waxed one?
I have no idea, but we might need some more charge armor because they just never give us enough, do they? Come on, we want more, and it's going to be what 50 million or something stupid this time. Please don't do that to us, okay?
Oh, there's going to be 2 of them, maybe, right? There's a possibility of them being 2 of them. The defender, the siege hull, whatever else they decide to throw out there. I'm sure there's going to be some sort of friggin' flagship for something that we forgot about. I mean,
weren't they talking about a rivals flagship?
I don't know, mate.
That was the poll, wasn't it? Whether it was going to be a conqueror or a defender.
People wanted defender.
I think everyone said defender. Yeah.
So people got the defender. So now maybe they'll release the conqueror.
Well, it was raid.
The defender was for the raid.
Yeah, not bounty in the raid.
Mm.
So they'll be give him another defender. Which I don't know if we need another one, to be honest, at the moment. Just stick with the ones we've got at the moment now in the tech store, and just have a defender section and then have a conqueror section. Let people catch up for the end of the day, have a bit of fun.
Mm-hmm.
And they can build themselves to the death, I mean,
I hope they surprise us like with something as cool as the Sinful Scattergun that can bring maybe some older conqueror a bit back to life.
Yeah.
That'd be nice.
I'd like to see the Trident.
The Trident really should be in there.
Yeah.
Oh, the Buzzard.
I would like to see like the lockdown rockets.
No, you don't need those, mate. They're rubbish.
Yeah, you don't need them.
I need them.
No, lockdowns, you don't need those, mate. No.
I hope they never release a lockdown again.
No. Cryo battery as well.
Do you know what's nice? Okay, everyone's in a semi-positive mood because it's a very quiet weekend. It's funny that, isn't it? Everyone's like, yeah, I'm having a good weekend. It's all chilled and that sort of stuff. So, yeah, it's quite good fun.
The tinfoil hasn't wrapped up yet.
No, exactly that. I haven't got to that stage, but we'll see, because obviously Thursday might bring a whole new experience to us, which I'm hoping the release will be out on Tuesday on time. I don't see why it wouldn't be, but you never know. They might delay it, so we'll see.
There's always hope.
There is always hope.
They still doing Tuesdays, or is it gone to Wednesdays now? I mean,
well, it was Tuesday last week, wasn't it? So hopefully it'll be Tuesday.
Well, there was no bug fixes because they fixed everything, right?
Yeah. Apparently so.
Okay. Anyway.
Alex Clark. All is good. Right. Excellent. Right. I'll just say thanks all for tuning in this evening. Okay. Thanks all in chat for coming online there. There's a plethora of people in chat. In fact, the chat's been quite good. I've been watching it in the side in my other screen. It's it's been quite good. I don't know how many participants we've got. We've got quite a few there. It's good. Blimey, G Jelly's been on as well. Is he back playing again?
I think so.
Is he snuck back on? I thought he was done. Yeah, anyway, not to worry.
Okay, bye everyone.
Radio. Anyway, take it
Have
easy.
a good night,
And we'll
everybody.
speak to you hopefully on Tuesday if it's up and running. Okay, take care.
Take care.
Good night.